Hello everyone, Sheek here with another Transformers review, and today I will be reviewing the Transformers Kingdom War for Cybertron Trilogy, Starscream, and Megatron Core Class. Or as I knew when I was younger, Legends Class, although Core Class, to be fair, from what I can tell, have more articulation. I would do them on separate videos, except given their size and all that, I thought may as well just throw them together into one video. And there they are. There's Starscream. As you can see, he looks like he might have a sneer. Maybe not. 8 and up. Transforms in 17 steps. 17 steps. So yeah, most Legends went back in the day, if you remember, they'd have a bunch of they'd have all the steps. So like maybe 6 or 7 steps, and they'd be like, Step 1, Step 2, Step 3, Step 4, Step 5, and then you wouldn't even have instructions in the box. It would just be like, yeah, on the back. And then Megatron, as you can see, is Megatron-y, all Megatron, and he transforms in 12 steps, less steps than Screamer. And yeah, he, of course, also does not have his instructions on the box. And as we can see, let's just take one last look at that lovely artwork before it's reduced into a rubbish when I open these. And as you can see, that is the Nemesis crashed in the background. Although I thought the Nemesis crashed in the... Oh, wait, never mind. They rebuilt... I honestly don't know where the Nemesis ended up in the original series, because they've just rebuilt their ship and took off. Anyway, who should I start off with? Considering that last review was of Screamer himself, let's start off with Megatron. Alright, so let's go ahead and open him up. And he does not come with a warning. Oh, wait, he does. Even the tiny ones. Warning, do not eat anything in this little box. Alright, let's clear off the debris. And let's get him up. He only has 2 little straps. And I think even back in my day, I don't even think they had little restraining straps to keep them in place. You know, they're such a small little box. There's no point, really. And then here's his little gun, which also has a little restraining strap, but doesn't really need to. And there, take that off. I think this is 3mm, maybe? I do believe that's 3mm, and then a 5mm peg, so it can be used by either the small ones or the larger ones, the non-core class, and it is just a very small standard gun, very reminiscent, either deliberately or accidentally, of G1 Megatron, because it does look somewhat reminiscent of a Walter P38, so yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what they did. I don't think they do things like this accidentally. And he is himself. Let's go ahead and stand him up right there and take a look at his little miniature booklet. Alright, let's get that unfolded. And there, whoops. And there we have Megs holding himself, or a reminiscent of himself. And there, you can put it on, and you can also put it on his back to make it look like G1 Megatron, because the barrel of the gun did stick up. I think that's kind of cool. And there you go to turn him into tank mode, like so. And it looks like you do not want to lose his gun, because his gun forms the barrel of the tank mode. So yeah, another one of those situations. Alright, now let's go ahead and get Starscream out as well. Normally I would do them all completely separately, but since we're doing them both at the same time, may as well do one, and then the other, and then one, and then the other, and then compare them side by side. Alright, does he have one? Oh, yes he does. Warning, don't eat anything. And then let's go ahead and unfold this up. Let's see. There you have, and there he is with his guns. Unfold. There we are. His null race. This is how you do it, Starscream. This is what you do. You don't have a weird handgun thingy. Talking about you, Stu Series, Bumblebee Starscream. Yeah, I feel like I ragged on him a little too hard in that previous review, but he's really cool. He's really cool once you get over his faults. Anyway, back to this star screen. I'm going to take that off. Well, at least stretch it enough where you can pull them out. There we are. Got Screamer out, and there he goes, Fallen. He's not the Fallen, he is just Fallen. There we are. Let's take a look at his null rays. This is just a 3mm peg. It doesn't have 5mm, so yeah, his larger counterparts won't be able to hold them. But yeah, standard grade plastic null ray. They're both identical, and they can go on his wings. No, yes, maybe, no, doesn't look like it. But he can hold them. And they can also go on his shoulders, which is, in my opinion, more important. Let's go ahead and put him on his shoulders, like so. Move out of the way, wing. And then there we go. There he is with his guns. Now let's go ahead and take a look at their articulation. Alright, let's give Megs his gun. Since he already has his fusion cannon on his side, let's just go ahead and put that there. Alright, now for articulation. Well, let's also take a look at that head sculpt. Well, actually, let's just take a look at everything all around. Look at, as you can see, very G1 does not have the the robo lips that the big old lips that Netflix Megatron has been prone to have. He has a nice silver face with red eyes and a hint of black up there for his eyebrows, if you want to call them eyebrows. And then his head is on I think it's on a tiny, tiny little ball joint, but it's pretty much just a swivel, and it doesn't really wiggle, so it could also be a mushroom peg. Yeah, mushroom swivel. Anyway, and then as you can see, there is his nice silver forest chest with a Decepticon emblem, and then G1-esque chest and torso. G1 chest. It does look kind of like the side of the Walter P-38. And then there's his other details on his belly. Crotch is just plain black. He has silver for his treads, and silver for his hands. And now for articulation. I already showed his head. Shoulders, arms can go out that far, up that far, back that far before the treads start getting away, but you can kind of finagle it to go a little bit further back. Bend at the elbow, which is almost unheard of for Legends class, which is probably why they want to call him Core class and not Legends. In his wrists do not swivel, although this one does. Well, it's not just his wrist, it's like part of his forearm too, but that's for transformation. But it is a swiveling wrist, so you can do that with what you will. And then his fusion cannon does not come off. Well, I'm sure you can pull it off, but it's just pegged on in there, so with a clip, or a little clip, so it's not like it won't come off, but I don't want to wear it out either. But yeah, that can rotate around. And then he does have a waist swivel, which is also almost unheard of for Legends class, or very small mainline third party's been doing it for a while, but mainline to have small figures this articulate is fairly unheard of. Anyway, you can do the full splits. You can kick forward that far, back that far, and he has about 90 degrees bend at the knee. And no, he does not have ankle tiltage, which is not a big deal considering his size, which they could have included, but they didn't. Oh well, doesn't really matter. He's small. And Starscream, he's a little bit more plain in color. I mean, he does have primary colors, but he doesn't have a whole lot of silver on him, except for his turbines and his chest. There's yellow for the canopy. I do believe it's a faux canopy, because here's his canopy right there. Blue for the forearms. It's just a blue plastic, as far as I can tell. It could be painted, but I don't think it's painted. So, yeah, actually, it is painted plastic, as you can see. It is gray painted blue. And then, of course, gray null ray. Alright, let's take a look at his noggin. There we are. Red eyes, silver face, black head. Pretty detailed. Looks like they got a little bit too much paint on his mouth, but you can still see the outline mostly. It looks kind of just like a relatively neutral expression. His head does have a swivel. It probably does a full 360, but it is pretty stiff, and I don't want it to get stuck in the backward position. And he had painted red these things, which I do believe are the intakes for the jet. And then got blue for his tail, blue for his feet, and for articulation, like his head, do believe does a full 360. No wiggly waggly, so probably a mushroom or something along those lines. You can tilt his wings back just to maybe give him a little bit more range of motion. His arms can go out that far. They can do a full 360. And there goes his gun. I'll grab that in a moment. His elbows do bend 90 degrees. They also swivel. I mean, because they are on a ball joint. Same with Megs. And then he can do the full splits. Legs can go forward that far. Back that far. And about a little less than 90 degrees bend at the knee. And of course, also no ankle tiltage. Although you can, mess around with his tail fins if you want. And I'm going to go ahead and grab his gun. Alright. Now, let's get these two bots that are always seem to be at odds with each other, although they are on the same side, into their vehicle modes. Alright, now let's go once again start off with Megatron. So what you want to do, of course, is first take off his gun. You want to flip around his his fusion cannon. And then you want to rotate that arm around. And then you want to disconnect his back, like so. Kind of flip it around, and then you want to flip his whole shoulders and all that all the way around, and peg this in to peg in right so, like so. You want to peg that in right there, and then you want to tab it in like so and like so. Then you want to also rotate his legs around. Then you want to pull out his legs out like that. Then you want to snap into place right there and there. And then you want to hook together right there and right there. And then that kind of helps pull everything together. And the only thing left to do is to put on his gun, which it does look kind of goofy for a tank to have a sight like that, but given how good he is, I'll let that slide. Because look, it can go up a little bit and down, up and down, so you can have that moving. And then I was not expecting this. The turret can rotate all the way around, so you can have him go up, down, point at anything, almost any target. So yeah, definitely one of the best small Transformers that Hasbro has released in a long time. And same goes for Screamer here. So first things first, you want to just split his chest apart, like so. Split it apart, pull it apart. You want to pull this out, and may as well do it right now. Flip around his head and pull out his nose cone. Pull that back a little bit so you can have room to rotate this whole assembly around like so. Then you want to kind of squeeze that back up, put the nose cone into there like so, and then you want to put his head in like that. There we have it, like so. And then you want to go ahead and put his legs together and peg that in, and then you can just go ahead and rotate up his tail like so, and make sure it tabs into place, and then rotate those down, and then you just want to close this back up and around his legs, and it should clip into place mostly. Should being the operative word. There we are, got all nice and lined up. So there's a couple little pegs right there that line up with the faux canopy, but it clips in like that, Make sure everything's all nice and lined up. And here we have, oh, and that does not like to stay on. And then you just rotate his forearms, tab into his wings, which isn't absolutely necessary because they pretty much stay on their own. But there we have him in his jet mode, and it's kind of sad. I know this is another jab. This is another jab at Studio Series Bumblebee Starscream. But to be fair, it is kind of sad when a Legends class size, because they are core class. Okay, to be fair, a little bit bigger than Legends. They are a little bit bigger than Legends, so I guess core is pretty much a pretty good description. But when you have something this small that hides its components a little bit better, I mean, granted you can see it, and that one also does not want to stay on. Okay, but when they don't, it does a better job of hiding its head than a much larger, more detailed figure. It's kind of funny. I wouldn't say, well, it's funny and sad all at the same time. But yeah, there you go. You have a nice little jet with, visible chest syndrome, I guess. Okay, I guess you want to be really, really, really persnickety. Visible head, arms, chest, and feet and legs syndrome. But it doesn't look bad. It kind of hides it, especially when you're up like this. Like, oh, it's a nice little jet. A nice tank. So a jet and a tank. Skytread. Not really, but Skytread. I doubt many of you will get that reference, but if you do, kudos to you. Anyway, this has been another Transformers review of Transformers Kingdom War for Cybertron Trilogy, Core Class Megatron, and Starscream. And if you like this review and you'd like to see more, please click that like and subscribe button to see more. And until next time, have a good one, everyone.